Okay, welcome back. Right now we're going to look at Tadasana, and we're going to do the Tadasana Set-up from the feet to the top of the head. And all the actions that we observe in Tadasana are going to give us our verbal cues for the Tadasana dynamic. And this will be the blueprint for all asana. So let's start with the feet. Padabandha. We want the feet to be expressing Padabandha. Inner and outer edges of the feet are lengthening, inner arches are lifting, and the toes are spreading and lengthening. To do this, we simply need to do one action, broaden across the toe bases. So by broadening across the toe bases, we instantly activate and engage Padabandha. So that's all you need to know. If you do it now, broaden across the toe bases, and you're going to feel inside, outside edges of the feet lengthening, inner arches lifting, toes are lengthening and spreading, and hey presto, you are lengthening and broadening across the feet. Moving on to the legs, we want the legs to be stabilizing, lengthening and strengthening. So the verbal cue here is engage the thigh muscles. When we engage the thigh muscles, the kneecaps automatically lift and center, stabilizing the legs, and the legs become much more stronger and are lengthening. Moving on to the pelvic area, we want to be stabilizing this area and supporting and releasing the lower back. So your verbal cues here are draw the lower abdomen in, lengthen the tailbone down, and engage the pelvic floor muscles. When you draw the lower abdomen in and engage the pelvic floor muscles, you are engaging Mula Bandha. And there's a couple of other things related to the spirals, which are going to help to release and open up in the pelvis and soften the butt muscles. But for now, let's focus on a Tadasana dynamic. The three verbal cues are draw the lower abdomen in, lengthen the tailbone down, and engage the pelvic floor muscles. Moving on to the torso, we want to lengthen through the front, the back, and the sides of the torso. We are drawing the sternum away from the pubic bone. That's a verbal cue there. And when you do that, you're also lengthening and hollowing through the abdominal muscles, drawing the navel in towards the spine, and engaging Uddiyana Bandha. And at the back of the body, we want to draw the back of the head away from the sacrum, so we are lengthening through the back of the body. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the torso. You could also add in there lengthening the armpits away from the sternum, which is useful in certain postures like Utthita Trikonasana, where students sometimes collapse on the lower side of the torso in relation to where they are in the posture. So they need to lengthen the side body there, armpit away from the side hip. In the shoulder area, we want to create space across the shoulders so that we are releasing and opening across the neck area. So shoulders away from the ears. Very simple instruction, but it works in every single posture to the extent that it can do. So for example, in a posture like Bakasana, you might find that shoulders just collapse towards the ears. You want to be always pulling the shoulders away from the ears as much as possible, so that there's no collapsing of the shoulders and crunching into the neck area. Create as much space and create more release and opening in the neck area. Moving on to the arms, we want to lengthen through the arms from the shoulders into the fingertips. This is going to create a spiraling action in the arms. Biceps rolling backwards, forearms rolling inwards, and broaden across the palms. This is spreading through and lengthening through the fingers. So we have Hasta Bandha. Again, we'll talk about that in step 2 of cue confidence. So the cues here are lengthening through the arms, lengthen from the shoulders into the fingertips, broaden across the palms to spread and lengthen through the hands. Moving on to the neck area, we want the cervical spine to be lengthening and releasing. So to do this, simply tuck the chin slightly down and in. You're going to find that the front, the back and the sides of the neck are equally lengthening, which is creating release in the cervical spine. And then finally, the facial area, soften and relax the face. Invite the jaw muscles to release and relax the eye muscles. And that is your Tadasana dynamic. So when we are standing in Tadasana and we're feeling all these actions, they're actually only 2 actions. We are lengthening whatever can be lengthened, and we're broadening whatever can be broadened. So we're lengthening from the center outwards, to the feet, to the fingers, to the top of the head, and we're lengthening from the outwards, from the periphery to our center, from the top of the head, from the fingers, from the toes, all the way back to the center, so that we are creating as much space and freedom in the body as possible as we move through our asana practice. That is what the Tadasana dynamic is for. It's to create that space and freedom, that release in the body, so that you can establish more comfort and stability as you move through your practice. I'll see you in the next practice, where we're going to do a 10-minute Tadasana. See you there.